All right, today's video is a far departure. It's either going to be the best video on my channel that does the absolute best, or it's going to do the absolute worst. I don't think it's going to be anywhere in between, to be perfectly honest. So while I edit videos, and I had just finished recording today's video, I was about to start editing and everything else like that. I usually watch YouTube content in the background while I start my edits. My edits are very, 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 very small. They're nothing too crazy. A couple of cuts, adding in my intro, taking care of some music, doing some audio level balancing, and that's sort of about it. Like that's nothing too insane. It takes me maybe like 15-20 minutes at tops. Just because of how little time that I have with everything else that I do throughout the day, as well as streaming and all. You guys know the usual spiel, right? Like we've talked about it plenty of times on the channel. And I came across, because I've been following the series, Afro's Radahn video. And this is probably way too late, to be perfectly honest, for it to even be any way, shape, or form useful, because I think this was 11 hours ago. My man is getting fleeced by Radahn. And near the end of the video, he was like, yo, make a video, send me your energy. Basically, it was like a call out to, hey, look, man, you got this. Send this man your energy, absolutely needs it. That's part of why I'm making this video, but that's not the entire reason I'm making this video. There's two reasons. There's one, send this man your energy. He's got this. Like legitimately, like, bro, you got this. Like you're right there. Just take a minute to breathe and lock in. That's it. You got this. You absolutely can. I know that feeling of wanting to beat the game that you want to beat the way you want to beat it. For me with Elden Ring, I had a week to beat the DLC. That gave me like maybe 3 stream days overall to beat it. That I did completely I did it on stream and everything like that before Dawn Trail came out, because I was going to play Dawn Trail really hardcore, really excited for the new class and all that good stuff. So like, I understand, I get it. Like I was right there. I wanted to make it my way, and I did. I got through it my way. We went to level 200. Our build was built around dexterity. We went into New Game Plus specifically, and because of that, I gave myself concessions, right? Like I was like, all right, cool. I want to summon for story purposes for certain boss fights. So I'm gonna do it on New Game Plus because I feel like that's a bit more fair, and it gave me the concession on those fights. Like I'll summon something that's specific to the story, like, you know, fighting Baal, we brought Egon. Fighting, I'm just gonna use the Baal example because he's the funniest one. But you know, we fought Baal, we brought Egon, so on and so forth, right? If there was a fight, like an NPC that was specific to the fight, we brought it for that fight itself for story related purposes. That way they could have their dialogue and we can get as much of that we wanted from it. And we did a New Game Plus, and with the New Game Plus, if you're unaware of how that works with New Game Plus, you're expected to actually already have all your scatter tree fragments. They carry over between new game cycles. So you go into the New Game Plus and you either are close to 20 or already 20. We went in at nothing because we started on New Game Plus to begin with. So it was a bit more of a difficult transition. That's just to say, like, I'm not that, oh, I did it more difficult or whatever. I know about that. I want to play it my way sort of situation. I am a big fan of dual wielding. I love the backhand blades. I love dual light great swords. They're super awesome. Like that's my jam. I love that. The reason I'm making this video is because it is insane to me how close Afro is to greatness on his build, but one thing is griefing him, and it's not just Afro. I'm also following Dion's playthrough as well. Like I'm following Syrax's playthrough as well, and he's doing a whole like, I'm not looking at any, so he's probably never going to see this. Like I'm not looking at anything. I'm not watching any videos, whatever. And it is hilarious to me how both of these guys are literally doing meta builds without trying. Syrax literally got to 80 strength. It was like, I think 80 is a good place to stop, and I'm gonna start leveling something else. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. That is the cutoff for if you're like, for effective investment. Like there are lower cutoffs for strength builds if you're two-handing weapons, but he's using Radahn's greatswords. Like if he was going to maximize his physical, 80 was his cutoff. Then you put the points into in. But like he's messing around with interdex. He's looking at how that works. Like he's getting there, right? Like he put points into vigor. Like he leveled his freaking health. He got enough points to be able to have enough endurance for what he needs. He has enough mind to, I mean, he could lose a little bit more mind, but he has enough mind for what he needs. Like it's hilarious to me how he has built a meta build without trying to look at any form of meta build, right? Like that's the cool part, is like that you can do things like that if you simply just sit down and read. Afro is also like right there. Like he's on the cusp. And the second part of making this video is to just show you guys what that little bit is being missed. And I'm sure some of you guys are seeing in the comments like, oh, you could do this, or you can do that, or you can do this, you can do that. He doesn't have to do a whole lot. Just one thing. I'm gonna show you guys that now. So if Afro is watching this video and you don't want any tips, here's the end of that portion. Look, man, you got this. You're on the right track. You were so close to being perfect, but you're being griefed by one thing. And if you manage to overcome it, even being griefed by that one thing, maybe come back to the video afterwards and check it out. Maybe look at something online people will talk about, whatever it happens to be. Totally cool. But let's talk about it. Last warning. All right, we're switching over. Okay, so this is my character I beat the game with. He's rune level 200. And yes, backhand blades. Absolutely love these things. Super, super favorite. Love the backhand blades. Can't say enough about them. So the reason why the backhand blades are so good is because they scale insanely to dexterity. Like absolutely brutally well to dexterity. You see we have 80 dex on this build. My head's kind of in the way, but we have 80 dex on this build. The basic thing of like what's griefing Afro is he's using bleed, backhand blades. You're losing a lot of physical and you're losing a lot of scaling. You're getting arcane scaling, yeah, but like you're also just getting a bit of blood loss. Like it's not really worth it to make these things bleed if you have got dexterity. Like you're already using weapons like the Sword of Night that are fantastic. Just get 80 dex, switch these things to keen. And if anything, if you really want to use bleed, man, use Blood Flame Blade. Like Blood Flame Blade requires very little faith. You can have like 15 faith, gives you access to Flame Gluttony Strength, Bestial Vitality, and Blood Flame Blade. And that's plenty. You don't need anything else. You can beat the game the way you want to beat the game and you're good to go, man. Like that's it. That is the whole point of this, saying, hey, look, you're on the right track. Just use a buff you used back like when you were playing the original game and you were fine. Like back when you were playing base, because he's used Blood Flame Blade before. I've seen it before. He's used Blood Flame Blade before. Like it's happened. These blades are sick. I like the way they look. Like I think the flames look awesome. And then like, again, you can keep the style points and you're all set. I mean, even the original Samurai drip actually would work great with this look. So I love this. I think it's a fantastic setup. So definitely recommend just taking the bleed off, man, and just making them keen and then enchanting them. Maybe use some rot. Rot's also really good and you're good to go. And that's it. That's all you got to do. That's if you guys are following along with this and maybe you're playing along with them and you're running into the same problems, you will absolutely crush Radahn with these two setups. I would say bleed them first in the first phase, rot them in the second phase, and you're good to go. And summoning isn't all it's cracked up to be. A lot of times with extra summons, it makes Radahn really, really erratic and it makes him really difficult to fight. And a lot of times he ignores them and just runs you down anyway. So yeah, it's just not really worth it overall. Now, for those who really, really want to use bleed, there is one other option you can do that some people don't really talk about. You can use 2 sets of backhand blades, 1 bleed and 1 frost. And if you have them in either hand and use the L1 moveset, you get the usual R1 moveset whenever you are two-handing the weapon. And it works all the same. If you want to use the right hand, it only gives you bleed. But if you use the L1, you get bleed and frost. And bleed and frost work really, really well together. It's something that happens, or people tend to use with the Dane's footwork and the Dryleaf arts together. People tend to use it for that. That's a really good combination. It also works with the backhand blades. So you can get access to that moveset by doing this. If you really want to use bleed and you're like, yo, I want bleed and frost, like, or you want to use bleed, I would say use bleed and frost together. That way you have both of them. You're able to get both status effects and they actually work pretty decently together. And that's it, man. For anyone who's following along with, by all means, you can definitely get through it your own way. Don't let anyone tell you have to do anything in particular or that it's unfair or your win is invalid. Those people are stupid. Like legitimately, those people are stupid. The only person that should matter is your own opinion. So you can stop yourself. No one else should stop you. That's how it goes. That's all I wanted to say in this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to toss them in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed the video, so if you want to keep up with more. Appreciate the channel members. You guys are fantastic. Like I said, this could be my best video or it could be my worst. But realistically, I told myself I always wanted to make videos that I really, really wanted to make. And this is something that I just on a whim was like, dude, I gotta try. All right, hope this helps out. Take care, guys. Peace out.